So, a good evening to you, Steve. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling for Nam. Thanks for inviting me here. Pleasure to meet you.
Interesting. I think first person from Vietnam, who is Vietnam, right? Nam.
Vietnam, yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, first person from Vietnam. How's it like over there? Are you planning on moving? Do you plan on staying?
Definitely plan on moving. Well, if the current situation here, it's like probably fine. But a couple of years ago, a lot of things happened, so I don't want to be buying into one places. So yeah, probably planning moving soon once I make a bit more money. Yeah.
Okay. And in the money sense, what are you currently doing?
Well, currently I'm doing freelancing. You can call me a glorified freelancer, right? I just basically provide a service to the clients and make money from it.
Okay. And how did you get into that?
Well, I got into that. Well, yeah, I learned the skills. I learned well, a bunch of skill sets, all from the real world, of course. And then after, let's say, after a couple of months learning those skills, master those skill sets, and yeah, I got into contact with clients, and I got basically that's how it
Okay.
goes.
Now, more specificity, please. So, within the real world, what campus did you go into? What lessons helped you? What did you end up doing?
So I joined the marketing campus around December last year, if I recall correctly. And of course, I'm also inside the freelancing campus. And the reason for that is because, yeah, well, at that point, I was just, I just want to join as many campuses as possible. One of the mistake. Then I realized that, the best skills, well, the best way to go about it is to just focus on one. And then I learned skill from the marketing campus, all about marketing, all about the video editing and things such nature. And then after that, after a while, of course, of just keep grinding, then then I just got better with the skills. Just got better with the skills, and of course, thanks to the real world platform and the professors and all the captains or the people inside to help me for that, make the process much faster. To
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
And what made you decide to actually take that step to join the real world?
Well, that was a long story, but so to make it short, so first I got into like the Tate content, right? Didn't know much about him. I first heard about the real world through Tate, of course. I think most people were at least. Then of course, I got skeptical. Out of all the people, of course, I'm the most skeptical one. For one, I'm in a third world country. $50 is a lot for a lot of guys, right? And so it's like, okay, another course, another guy with a course, right? So that was the skepticism there. But then I watched a lot of review, and I'm as a former teacher myself, right? Well, at least former work in education, and I thought that some of the reviews are very well thought out, so, and very positive. So I thought I'd take a leap of faith because at the time before I joined, life was just directionless, So I just listened to Tate and found him quite interesting, and I just thought that what's there to lose? Yes, $50 in my country is a lot, but I still make money. I still have a job, so it's not even that much in the first place in comparison to a lot of other investment, right? So yeah, then I joined, and that's how the rest is history, I guess.
Okay. I'd like you to explain a bit more about when you said you were directionless. So, how different is your average day now compared to how it was before joining the real world?
So before I joined the real world, I would say, like one of those videos of daily routine average guy, right? Like how they look like they post it on TikTok. It's kind of like that, with exactly the same, with the exception of I work out, I read books, I consume heavy content, intellectual content. But outside of that, look pretty great, right? Like you've seen these compilation all the time. So it just basically work, go home, you're doing your stuff. While we're doing by doing your stuff, I mean trivial, right? Working on some stuff that is not relating to making any money. Just just throwing your life away basically every single day, and in a way slaving away your youth. And then after that, after I join, and this current moment, I just focus on most of the time just on working and find the best way to complete to make more money, to improve my life, of course. Every single day, every single minute of the day, I focus on that, on just improving myself and improving the way that I can make more money. And yeah, that's of course all credits to how the real world as a community, as a place, and of course how I started out.
So you've mentioned community a few times. You've mentioned some stuff about students there. What kind of an impact have they had on you?
The community part is probably the I would say like the dark horse or underrated part of the real world, right? Aside from having access to millionaires, aside from having all the very advanced materials that you can't find anywhere else, the community is a part where I would say I've been to many communities, and this is probably one of the most driven and motivated community that I've ever been in. Not even close. There's nowhere other places that even come close to how dedicated people are to be financially free, and of course helping each other out. Like you find a lot of good people around here, and that's how I got in contact with great people. That's how I got open up friendships, right? New friendships opens up because I'm on the grind, usually on the journey to to the top, or the journey on the self improvement. You usually find yourself pretty lonely, like, right? It's like a lone wolf path in certain stages, but it's great to find people with a like-minded, I would say, like-minded perspective to have a same goal in mind and have a same drive, which is those three combined is very important to have a great friendship. In the and yeah, that's why the community very positively impact me in such a way where now, yeah, I used to be in a very dark place, but now I was very different, night and day.
Good. And in terms of clients now, what clients did you land and how much are they paying you?
So the clients I work right now, the job that I'm doing is basically doing involving marketing, but mostly video editing. And they right now I had the contract I have currently. The current project I work with is around like 2K, and the number will increase, of course, but at the moment, yeah, it's around 2K for that particular work.
Hmm. So what exactly do you do for them for that 2K?
So I make them edits, right? Basically, that I make them short form contents. Sometimes more than that, maybe designing, covers like some similar to YouTube covers, right? YouTube thumbnails, things like that, and of course, giving them some marketing insights on how the market works and stuff. So they give direction. So yeah, those are the kind of work that I do uh, to get to get that to get that money. Yeah.
Okay. And since you're in Vietnam, I'm guessing, I mean, 2K a month is quite a decent salary. Do you know the average income in Vietnam per month?
Average income is around, I would say, 200, above 200 a bit. And I know, yeah, that doesn't sound a lot. That's why when I mentioned $50 is a lot for a lot of people, right? It's, yeah. So two I used to make when I was a teacher, and of course also a combat sport coach. Used to be, I make way less than that, way less, right? Well, even when I doing my own business, because I didn't know much about business back then. When I do my own stuff with the teaching, with the education, I still make nowhere close to this number. So yeah, for average person, it's quite a lot. Uh, but yeah, so that's the I guess the advantage, right, to working internationally
Mhm.
when you are in the third world country like Vietnam.
Right. Yeah, just a small advantage, earning 10 times more than the people around you.
If I join, I swear, if I joined this like, the real world probably like a year ago when it calls when it used to call Hustle University 2.0, right? I probably make 10 times like 10 times more than the current amount, and how
Mhm.
much that would be compared to an average person.
A
So
hundred
yeah.
times more.
Yeah, yeah, you can imagine, right? But yeah, you don't reveal your true power, right?
Yeah. I mean, and at that point, you also probably move abroad, right? That's that point.
That
Yeah.
that's the plan. It wasn't a plan until like the situation forced me to. I mean, that's where like this I find this. I'm pretty grateful for the real world as an opportunity, right? Because the thing is, for the past couple of years, people already know what kind of a situation you're in. If you don't make enough money, you can't travel anywhere. So yeah, the situation kind of forced me to change the way I think and the way I make money.
Hmm. Right. And what would you say was the biggest challenge you faced when you first started out in the marketing bootcamp?
I would say the paradigm shift. I hated marketing, man. I swear I hated to the guts because I didn't understand it. Because okay, so the way I understood marketing is very different from what I know now, right? And how I know about what I know about making money, right? Can be win-win situation because I always thought that was a win-lose situation and people getting rich out of doing the dirty stuff. But I never thought about in the way that like this before, where both sides can win. You benefit from providing your service and value. Never thought it that way. But the paradigm shift just to switching from the guy who hated marketing to know marketing and to learn all these skill sets, which I didn't like. I didn't even know how to edit videos before I joined. I didn't know any of these skills whatsoever. All these skills. That's why I only post win from, or I posted the all of the accomplishment, right, from the real world, from the skills from the real world. Because yeah, these are all the stuff that I learned from that, and it's just the paradigm shift. It takes quite some time, even when it comes to routine habits. It's a paradigm shift overall when it comes to productivity in general and how and why it should be productive. Because back then, I hate all these like the let's say the hustler mindset, right? Because I didn't understand them really well.
Hmm. Okay, completely fair. And what would you say then have been the biggest insights you've learned from your time within the real world?
One of the insights that I learned, man, so many. But I guess the first one I can on top of my head was the well, there are more people like me out there than I would like to think. Because I used to think I'm just alone, right? Surrounded with if you're surrounded by the woke people, and yes, in Vietnam there's a lot of woke people. Trust me on that. Not to the extent of the Americans or the extent of the Western world, but at least it's breeding. It's slowly breed into the education, the university, right? And everybody brought into the propaganda a couple of years ago. So yeah, there are more people that like-minded than I thought it was. That was the insight, and mostly about business, how business formulate, how money works, how money moves, and how to make money. I didn't know any of these skill was existed, like how to make money like this was existed before the real world at all. So like the insight, I would say like in general, just basically how you make money online. Like yeah, I didn't think it was possible to make money online before the real world. All these skill set, didn't know it would exist. All these model, but then after that, like yeah, after joining, after seeing that this is probably the first educational platform is that impressive with with that low price, low barrier to entry, basically. Yeah, with the
Right.
so that is the this sort of like a general way, but the lessons, if you call it inside lesson, I guess if you work, you can work 24/7, like one of the professor Luke would call work work 24 hours a day, right? That's one of his famous quote inside the real world. Uh, everything everything in your life is in a way is a work towards something, right? You're always trying to find a way to fine tune them. You can always work all the time to accomplish something you want in your life. So that is one of the biggest insight because I didn't think these people exist at all. Like the hyper, I would say the you could call them function like superhuman, right? That always, all the time, always on point, never stop grinding, never stop hustling, never stop working. You can actually achieve that. That's probably for me as the biggest insight because I didn't think that was possible. I was always thought that was overrated. I thought that it was just like a marketing scheme. But seeing how these people inside the real world actually seeing them doing every day, that's possible. And so that's what I'm trying to become also.
Hmm. And what would you say to people who call that excessive, working so much?
Well, just work less, man. Look, I have less competition. Look, you know what? You like to work less, that's fine. That's fine. You know, you want to enjoy life, that's cool. But for me, hey, I wanna I want to get out. I want to get out of the matrix. It's what Tate would call, right? I want to get out of the system. I want to work hard. I want to achieve what I want to achieve. I do have a bigger goals outside of financial freedom, escape the matrix, and retire my parents, right? I do have a higher goal than that. But ultimately, it's how far you're willing to go to achieve what you want to achieve. You look at Floyd Mayweather, right? People saying that, oh, his schedule is pretty excessive. He work midnight. You wake up around 10, but you need to work. You need in order to be the best, you have to work overtime. Quoted from Floyd Mayweather, right? You have to work all the time if you want to, because I'm in a third world country. This is to give the context, right? I don't have much advantage compared to the first world people who has everything. I'm come from the I'm the guy who used to make money by, back in the day we didn't have a road in Vietnam. We didn't have roads like make from asphalt. It doesn't have that kind of material, right? It's just dirt. Pick the scrap from the dirt, all right, and then sell out to the market, and we get some money to for as kids. We don't have any allowance. We don't have shit. So that's how we make it. Like, hey man, you want to eat some of those candies? Basically, just very cheap. But in order to get that, you got to pick up scraps. Took like a couple hours. But I come from that kind of places, right? I've been around the blocks. You can call that ghetto. Yeah. So I have to work extra hard to get to where I am. So for maybe depends. Maybe you have to work less, but I don't. I don't consider, like Tate says, like right, anything that dedicating to giving me more advantage in life to get to where I want it to be. I have to work extra. If I have to work extra, I work extra. So I don't think that's any excessive. It depends on people opinions, but to me, whatever it takes, right? Whatever it takes to get that peace of mind. Ultimately, that's what you want to achieve: the peace of mind, fear of not being broke, of you cannot save your parents. You have to, your government force you to do certain things that you can't refuse because you need your job. So that's the to that extent, yeah, I think it's all worth it in
Hmm.
the end.
Yeah. And since you're on this trajectory now, where do you see your life heading in about 6 months to 1 year?
6 months, my probably the low. I have a couple of goals, but financial goal wise, 10K, getting that 10K a month threshold, break over that. I probably would be able to with that current trajectory. But that is like, so you can say it's small goal, right? But hey, all small step, all steps. So if I can achieve that, and maybe I can achieve that even earlier in 6 months. But for a year from now, I probably would be able to make 10 times because I think it will compound, right? All the wins will compound to make 20, even 20K or even more. And of course, go travel to places that to work with some other people. Uh, maybe to meet some people that I've made friends with in the real world, right? Because that's what's the money for if you can't have a connection with your brothers, with your
Hmm.
friends. So that's one of the goal, and of course to retire my parents, retire my mom. Yeah, that's because I don't want to see my mom keep working, keep working every day, and and the money doesn't pay off. So yeah, that's what I want to do. Retire my parents to basically get attaining the financial freedom, escaping the matrix. That's for the soundbite. But for truthfully, for my long term goal, because in a way, giving a context, I'm a Christian. I'm an Orthodox Christian. So long term goal will be building connections so I can spread out, build churches, because I don't see many Orthodox Christians going out and building things. So that's a long term goal, right? Building churches, building covenants around the world. And in order to do that, I have to work hard. So I can see there's a lot of possibility, but for a year from now, it's building up from there. That's a long term goal. But for money wise, 10K, 100K, 200K, above that. That's how I see myself will attain.
Very interesting. Wow. I mean, yeah, very big goals, very noble goals. Great to hear. So it seems you're not very self-centered. Selfless would be the right word.
I would call it selfless, right? Like it's in a way, because if I was selfless, I would not. I would say I wouldn't. If I was truly selfless, I would do a lot more things, probably a lot more public things, trying to help out. But I just realized a lot of people just don't deserve this opportunity. For example, even joining the real world, that's what I recognize. Some people just will never join, right? They will never join, whatever the reason they have hold in mind. So it's I. So just to be honest, right? I'm not but it's I always find things nowadays is a win-win situation. If the other person can win, I can also win. But selfless, I'm not even sure. Maybe that's what's selfless. But to me, I do have ulterior motive, which is helping my families out, getting my families out of the ruts. You know, saving maybe the clan, the big families, things like that. That's personally for me first. I don't care about anyone else. Let's say when I say anyone else, I mean it's like the uh, the people that I used to know in high school, right? You know, the used to be acquaintances, friends. So that's to me is like, yeah, I don't quite want to help those people out. But at the moment, maybe I'll
I mean,
change.
again,
But
that's completely normal because first you help yourself, build yourself up. Then, when you're in a position to help the people directly around you, then you do that. And once once you're in an even more capable position, then you start expanding wider and helping your community. I mean, it's completely normal to approach it that way. So yeah, I mean, and it's interesting because I mean, selfless people don't see themselves as selfless usually. So that's another pointer to that.
I
Okay,
see.
so I'm happy to wrap up here with a final question. For people who are unsure about joining the real world, maybe they're thinking it could be a scam for $50, what advice would you have to them?
Keep being unsure, my friend. Get out. Don't join. No, just kidding. Out of all that, but yeah. If look, man, if I was selfish, I would tell people just stay away. If I was truly selfish, I would tell people stay away because this is my sauce. Everything I learned to make money online, I learned from the real world, and and I'm the guy with all the reason. Look, I'm not young anymore. I'm the guy with I used to be like very risk averse, right? I just hate taking risks, even taking a dollar, because in third world country usually, when you spend a kind of amount of money, you have all the reason to reject, you have all the reason to resist it, and that's the reason why I don't tell my friends about this. Like I just do this alone, just to have something to prove to myself before I tell people. And so I mean, like, look, if a guy like me from a third world country can join, right? And what's the excuse? You lose $50. You can probably have time for you spending that money to buying new video games, buying, going to cinema, doing some dumb things. But yeah, I mean, for this amount of testimony, of this amount of proofs of work, and such a great platform. Also, I bet, like, let's double the amount. Like if you can prove like there's other platform that's better than the real world, I pay you that money, double that money. I'll pay you for 2 months of subscription, but I doubt it. I doubt people would be convinced because again, it's just that I think I have an opinion of same with I think Earl. You know Earl.
Yeah, yeah,
I have the same opinion of Earl. Basically, just like, you know what? If that's too much for you, buddy, might as well stay where you are. I have less competition. But truthfully, for the people who cares about them, I think just 1 month. You have access to 1 month and all the skill set that you learn out that you can't find. You can't find this on YouTube. So here's the most the myth that everybody keeps spreading about the real world and about the material here. Oh, I can find this on Google. I can find this on YouTube. No, you cannot. Show me the material where you can find specifically inside the real world. You can find it online. Most stuff online that they do is that they make the funnels into their own courses, right? That's the typical game. That's the typical business. Or they give you a very shallow advice how to make money online, stuff like that. Very shallow because you don't know where to start. You don't know where to start how to make money online if you just watch YouTube videos. I guarantee it. Even if you watch TikTok, you can't find it anywhere else. The material inside is that helpful? Is that practical? Step-by-step guide, of course, and of course you have access to multimillionaires, legit multimillionaires, that is handpicked, of course, by yours truly, right, the top G himself, and by and aside from that, you have a great community. You are not alone in this world and in the on this journey of becoming financially free, escaping the matrix, escaping the system, helping your parents out, improving your parents' life, and improving yourself, or maybe even higher goal, become millionaires. I didn't think I would have that kind of ambitions, right, before I joined. But now I joined, I know it's possible. It's very possible. The real world opened the doors to all the opportunity in the world.
Mhm.
Just you got to seize it or not. You either going to seize the opportunity when you can, right? The sooner you join it, you can. Like I said before, prior, if I joined last year, I will probably make more. Or if I joined when it first founded, when Hustler University, when the real world first founded, I would probably be able to make. I would, you know what? I would say probably become a millionaire right now. So yeah, this is how powerful it is. So the faster you join, the better. But if you every day you delay, right? Like it's just that opportunity pass by.
Mhm.
So you know what? That's for the genuine people, and as for the haters, you know what? Stay there. I don't want you here. I don't want you to pollute the environment inside because this is a great place to be.
Completely fair. And I'll hold you to your word about you progressing. You're saying you would have been a millionaire if you had joined from the start. So we'll see in 3 months how you're progressing, if you're really on that trajectory there. So make sure, yeah, you remember that and have some good stories for us in 3 months. And until then, I wish you all the best. And again, thank you for your time, Steve.
But thank you for your time too. It's a pleasure to talk to you, man. Keep up the good work.